Is that okay? We started with Steve just 5 months ago in June. So what I want you to talk about is what your business was like then and what has shifted for you over just the past 5 months.
Wow. It feels like it's been longer than 5 months.
It does, doesn't it? Lots
it really
happened.
does.
A lot's happened.
In a good way.
In a great way. Actually, a great way. Meeting with Mark and Bria, I was running a drug testing business, Affordable On-Sites, and it's a small firm, so I was doing everything, all the marketing. Felt like I was doing all the testing, accounts receivables, accounts payables, picking up supplies, going to the post office, which I love to do.
I won't take that away
still
from
let
you.
him do that.
Today was a bad day for me. I like to go to the post office, turn the key, and wow, there's 5, 6 checks, you know. And then I rush over to the bank and I cash them, and you know. So I have a passion to do a basketball league nationwide. It's really the first business plan I drew up, but through working at LabCorp, it just naturally felt that drug testing was what I was gonna do until the basketball league could get going.
Yeah, so let me just interject and say that was, when he came to us, that was his dream business. And he actually, we weren't allowed to ever talk about it, but now this is the first time that I've heard you actually say it out loud in front of other people. So it's very exciting. And what we were working on, can you guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. What we were working on was helping him grow the first business to a place where he could really be in the supervisor role. And that involved creating some systems in his business because he was doing too much, like most of us. So helping him create some systems and figure out what to focus on, what to let go of, how to create more structure, how to bring somebody else in to run the business so that he could be in a more supervisor role and then start his dream business, which is really for him his bigger why. I mean, he gets so jazzed up. So let me keep going.
Great. That is my bigger why.
Yeah.
So Bria advised me to, like I say, turn loose a lot of those things that killed my time. So we brought on an office assistant who's actually doing a better job than I did. You know, I thought I was the QuickBooks guru. She's teaching me things.
Yeah.
She's taken on a lot of the scheduling, which I felt nobody schedule like me. I'm a master planner. So she's actually, she takes those calls. When I would book hotels, I pay out of pocket, but we've got a system in place with Marriott where we build points. She do it to the points.
Yeah, she's thinking about things that you weren't able to think of because you're doing so much. And that's that thing when you let go and you get the right people, they actually, who are liking what they do and are good at what they do, they're just going to expand in that area, and it's fabulous, and you're going to benefit from it.
I've already benefited from it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I have a partner who was a 15% silent partner who lost his job. He volunteered to come in and actually run the business, the drug testing business. So I'm in the training phases with him to kind of, he hadn't done anything in drug testing, so I'm kind of taking him slow and training him things on drug testing. But through this meeting today, I'm wondering if he's not even the most qualified to do our sales and marketing.
Yeah.
It may be advantageous to hire someone who already has that passion, already has that knowledge, and just let him focus on operations.
Yeah. That's something that we'll talk about. We just met this other guy recently, Mark and I did with him. So yeah, if that's how you're feeling, that's definitely something, that'll be our next step, that we make sure he is the right person for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our website, we didn't have a website. Because I was doing all the work, I was afraid to grow the business. You know, I couldn't take another phone call. I didn't want more customers. I had enough customers. And so meeting with Mark and Bria, the website was obviously the next move. That website went live actually Thursday.
Yay!
So we're up and running with the website.
Helped him with that.
We're going to do the sales and marketing, and that business is going to grow.
Yeah, and so did you see what he just said? So part of it was he was holding back from growing that business, from even doing the marketing and bringing more in, because he didn't have the infrastructure to handle it. How many of you feel that way? A lot of you. It's like, good God, don't actually bring me more business. I don't know what to do with you. So that's where we started, and it's been great because he's just, it's really, working with him has been so rewarding for us because he's one of those clients that we'll get together and we'll say, go do this, and he'll go do it. And then we're like, you just did that? Some people, it takes longer to do things. And he just does it. And I mean, you have grown so quickly in 5 months. It's actually unbelievable.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so thinking about your next business, how do you feel? How do you feel?
Well, I've got my tax ID number. I've already purchased the scheduling software, which schedules the refs, schedules the gym, schedules the teams and everything. Now it's just a matter of whether I'm going to do local for starters, or
Yeah.
just jump out on the national
Yeah.
and go for it.
And how does it feel to really be going after your
Oh, it
dream
feels
now?
great. It's
Yeah.
still a little intimidating.
It's still a little scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm ready.
But it's exciting at the same
Really?
time. Yeah. It's great.
Did
All
you
right.
actually say what it was, or are you willing to say that?
Yeah, he did. I think he
Yeah,
did.
I am willing. It's
But I know it's a
um,
basketball league, but you got to, because I was so fired up when you told me this, but I don't think I quite make it.
we might make
I've always
it.
wanted to be taller. Now I want to be a little bit
Shorter.
shorter.
Explain, yeah.
My philosophy is the NBA guys, I mean, 7 foot, I'd never have a chance playing against those guys, you know? So I've developed a 5'9" and under, so you can be 5'9" or shorter, basketball league, and we're going to bring the goal down to 9 foot, so those
Isn't that
guys
great?
should be able to dunk. Basically, as Mark could tell you, they're going to be all point guards, so whoever gets the rebound, they're off, they're running. It's a fast-paced game, you know?
That is one
And,
quick face game. It'll just
yeah.
be wee.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Isn't that exciting?
But you're actually wanting to make this a pro league. I mean, this is not just, I was like, this sounds great. And he's like, no, you're a little slow, a little old. And,
I didn't tell him that.
all right, so there's my beliefs coming up. Yeah. But no, you're like, these are pro guys. These are guys who have played college ball. This is a pro league that people
Yeah.
will pay to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be really fun.
It's very
That's
That's the
exciting.
goal. Yeah.
He's great at thinking big, and of course we love that. So great. That's right. He's small and big at the same time. Great.
And
Thanks,
before we pass, are you done with Steve?
Steve. Unless you'd like to add.
I'm not going to add something, but I walked by a significant other of Steve who said, can I just say something about how fun it is to have Steve around now?
Oh, really?
This is Rhonda
Oh, I love that.
Mans, who's also a client.
Well, I was just going to say, of course, I've been telling Steve for the last 4 years, you need to get an assistant. You need to delegate. You can't do it all. But, of course, it was going in one ear and out the other ear. So I was very happy when we met Mark and Bria, and they started saying some of the same things that I was saying, but he was actually listening to them. So
Yeah.
he didn't pay me anything. I mean, I got the short end of the deal. But, I mean, it has made him, a couple of days ago, I just said to him, I said, you seem so much more relaxed. It's almost like he had free time and he didn't know what to do with it because he was so used to doing so many things. So it's been very beneficial. So I thank you, Mark and Bria, for
well,
getting Steve to do some things to free up his time so that he can do what he really wants to
That's
do.
really nice to hear. Thank you. That's great. Great to see you, too. All right, so let's go to Kim. Kim and I met a year ago. Is that right? A little bit more than a year ago. And and at the time she was still doing some therapy stuff, and she had ideas for, I remember our conversation, we were in that restaurant, I don't know if you remember this. And I was, at the time, she wasn't a client of mine at the time, we were just having a conversation, but it was clear that she was really ready to give up the therapy, but she just couldn't let go. And she wanted to coach, but yet she had these 3 clients, I remember you saying, these 3 clients, they can't live without me, I can't let them go. And we talked about it, because these people loved her, and they really felt like they couldn't live without her. So it's like, oh crap, how do you get rid of these people? So in a nice way, how do you pass them on to someone else? Let's say, put it that way. And we had some conversations, and then in November we started working together, and I think it was by December you'd let those clients go because you realized that wasn't your energy anymore. And she moved into coaching, and I'll let you talk about that. She's again one of those people with many interests, many talents, many skills, and she had a couple different areas that she wanted to coach, and she was going in these 2 different directions, and it was kind of making her a little crazy. So I'll let you talk now.
A little crazy. Well, I did. I was telling my table mates, it took me like 3 years from when I said I'm going to close my therapy practice to really close it. So I encourage all of you to, it wouldn't have made any difference. The reactions I got from people were the same when I did it and if I had done it 3 years before. So that piece I really well, it was way too long of a transition. But meanwhile, I am teaching at a coach training school as well, and then I had 2 websites, 2 blogs, 2 e-zines. I was busy.
Yeah.
So I closed my therapy practice and merged my 2 businesses. And that was more work than I thought. I thought we would just take pieces, parts from each website, and instead we redid the whole thing. And it's great now, but it's like Mark mentioned, I had to do my first video, and I still have nightmares about that.
And that was facing a fear. That's a good example. That was
Yeah,
didn't
that was
wanna
really
do that,
hard.
right? You
Yeah.
really didn't want to do
No,
that.
I really did not
and
wanna
she
do
did
it.
it, and we were very proud of her. It's great, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think the thing I've done most this year is, I'm one of those people that played small for a really long time. And I started doing it more than a year ago, but this year I was just like, screw it. And so I did the website, did the freaking video.
I think we made her, encouraged her.
And I did a telesummit because I lost a lot of people. I knew I was going to, and I was, as I was changing what I was writing articles about. People were dropping off because I wasn't a fit for them anymore. And so I did this telesummit that I took a class with Ellen, God, years ago, and I never did one. And so I decided this is exactly what I need to do to get, to step things up a notch. And I asked people to speak that I was, it's like, well, if they say no, they say no. But I got some absolutely fantastic speakers that were thrilled because I focus on women after 50. And that was, I thought there was like a bazillion of us out there, and there aren't. And I don't know, there's something that's, it worked really well. And I grew my list by a lot. I did ask Ellen to speak, and when I didn't tell you this, when I didn't hear from you, I thought you were saying, her list isn't big enough, I'm not going to speak with her. And then when I mentioned it to you, you said, I never got your email, I would have loved to speak with you. Yeah. So see, it's these things we put in our head that was totally wrong.
Yeah.
Totally wrong.
And you're a perfect example of what she just said. If you don't ask, you're not going to get your results that you want. So she has really faced a lot of fears. You've really stepped up so much this year. So.
And I have one website, one e-zine, one blog.
Yeah. And how does that alignment feel for you now?
Oh, it's perfect.
It's like she's
it's
got
perfect.
her direction and she's off. So it's great. All right. Thank you. Kim.